Hi everyone, Canthony C. Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Yes, and it's time for our first vinyl update of 2025. The year is new, as is the vinyl, which has just been added to the collection. This looks cool. This is neat and everything. I'm going to take this off, though. Taking this off. And take this off and put on my glasses. There we go. Now I can see. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Per usual, just going to be going through some pickups that I have been spinning lately on the turntable, have enjoyed or have made it into the collection. Obviously, some interesting stuff to come, so stick around. Metal Faced Villain, Food, 20th Anniversary. This is a really cool edition. We're going to get into that and more. Lots of cool pickups here. Let's start off with Allart Records, a label that passed me a few projects here to check out that are actually quite cool. And if you enjoy stuff on the darker side, the gothier side, the post-punkier side, you're going to want to check these projects out. This first one is from Holy Wire. It is an 8-track album. If you're big on synth pop, that is quite moody and spacey. There are lots of classic references one could make, but maybe something more contemporary and familiar to many of you would be like, if you're big on Future Islands, if you're into that kind of theatrical type of synth pop, but a bit smoother, a bit gothier, you're going to want to get into this. Also, the song Lost is a total banger. The synth sequences on that track are incredible. I also like the front cover here with the track list on it, and obviously the burning vehicle, which I think is quite edgy. Definitely matches the vibe of the music. The record itself is good quality and nice and thick on an interesting sort of splatter. It's like a quarter splatter, a third splatter. It's like the record got its brains blown out, and it's just, that's a really interesting. I don't know if they're all exactly done this way, but that's a very interesting splatter type. One of the most interesting splatter types I think I've ever seen. So again, that's from Holy Wire on Allart Records. This next one that I want to put in front of you guys is a split titled Columns of Impenetrable Light from Bleached Cross and True Faith. The True Faith. The first half with Bleached Cross is a lot of very heavy, slow, moody, somewhat eerie, industrial rock adjacent stuff. If you're big into health bands like that, you're going to dig what the band is doing on the first side of the record. And on the second side of the record, we have the True Faith, who are doing a bit more of a rowdy post-punk kind of thing, very spacey. Think Pornography, Era Cure, if it was a bit punkier and more aggressive, that sort of thing. If either of those sounds tickle your fancy, you're going to want to give this one a spin. I especially liked the True Faith side. The record itself is good quality, just like the Holy Wire one, but we have a bit of a clear splatter variant. These are, for an indie label, these are really cool, sick-ass splatter ideas. I mean, even on big vinyl projects, I'm not seeing cool-ass splatter variations like this. You have the clear bits, you have the black bits, you have the grays and the whites all mixed in there. It's really interesting visually. And, again, these are two pretty cool records. So definitely worth your time, worth checking out musically. and worth picking up the vinyl and supporting the bands, supporting the label. Seems like they have kind of a consistent sound and direction in terms of like the sort of artists and vibes that they're trying to put out there with their stuff. So again, Holy Wire, The True Faith, Bleached Cross, Allart Records. There you go. Excuse me, I'm a bit phlegmy. I was in Vermont recently and picked up this next record at a store that I was just kind of passing through with, I forget the name of the store off the top of my head. I apologize. But staring at me in the shelves over there was this 10th anniversary edition of Foret's Rounds classic electronic music album. Some of you who are in the know may be saying, Anthony, what do you mean 10-year anniversary? That album's like over 20 years old. You're right. It is over 20 years old. This pressing of the 10-year anniversary of the record just happens to be over 10 years old. So this has been sitting in the shelves for a minute, either there or somewhere else, and there. But it's a nice double LP. It has a CD of a live performance that I haven't actually dug into yet, which is a pretty cool addition. They just sort of threw the... This was a bit of a thing in the 2000s, like when vinyl was kind of coming back and labels and everything wanted to know what the hell they should be doing as far as like cover art editions and so on and so on. They just put the CD book, just put the CD book inside the record. This didn't dawn on me at first, but obviously the label doesn't have the song titles or anything on it. But the number of dots you see on the label is the side that you're on. So 1, 2. When I first looked at it, I was like, what fucking side am I listening to? Here we go. Here's a... oh, wait, no, that's the download code. Where's the CD? There's an extra CD in here. There was a CD. Did I pull it out? No. It's right here. Foret live in Copenhagen in 2004. So there's an extra 73-minute CD that was thrown in with this thing. Shout out to Kieran Hebden. Look, if you're looking to get into some electronic music that has a really nice textured DIY sort of homespun flavor, I mean, it's difficult to kind of put into words because obviously, I mean, dudes like Square Pusher and Aphex Twin are sort of like, notorious for their home studio antics and the stuff that they would sort of like, do with equipment that they pulled together in their own places. I mean, obviously, they're guys kind of who are doing it on their own. But what I'm saying is like with what Kieran was doing on this record was sort of like made it stand out. What made this era of sort of like indie appealing electronic music so special is that there was like kind of a leaning in the direction of like acoustic timbres and folk music and even sometimes rock, I would say, on some of the instrumentation and on some of the builds of these tracks. It's actually like, quite beautiful, in my opinion. Got a nice gatefold on here, and that's essentially what makes this album so special, such a classic. The records themselves sound fantastic. Just kind of a standard black pressing. No more, no less. But again, they sound amazing. It's a great double LP. It's a great electronic music album. Some would say micro house, I suppose, as well. But yeah, Foret's music these days sounds vastly different from what, he was doing on this record. But, this albums like this paved the way. You got to spin this. You got to spin There's Lovin' You, which is also another one of his great and fantastic projects. But yes, the 10-year anniversary of this was just sitting in the shelves. Had to get it. All right, shout out to my boys on this next one, my Viagra boys. They put out some 12-inch singles over here featuring tracks that are essentially, extras, non-album singles, that sort of thing. Starting with this one over here, Call of the Wild, which has a Baby Teeth on it, which some fans who are digging into the band stuff may remember. But they also have Upside Backwards and Call of the Wild on here. Upside Backwards is kind of your, if you're into Viagra Boys, your normal Viagra Boys sort of like standard scuzzy, low-down, nasty post-punk shit. Call of the Wild, though, has almost like an eerie, linear synth odyssey meditation, almost like Suicide influence, I would say. That's very interesting. The band has other tracks that kind of go in that direction. This, I would say, is like one of the eerier and weirder cuts, though. I believe the pressing over here was like black and pink. No, it's just pink. But that's sick. Nice straightforward pink 12-inch there. Got to spin it at 45. But that's a good one. That's a solid one. Really glad I got that now, because I do love those. I do love those Viagra Boys. Got that, and again, this other single over here, which features Research Chemicals, a song that fans of the band should very much be well aware of, but also other cuts like I Don't Remember That, which is very much about pretty much being so drugged out of your mind that you can't recall anything that you did or what happened earlier. There's also Can't Get It Up, which is very much in line with punk classics like Dead Kennedys' Too Drunk to Fuck. And also Liquids, basically a song about wanting to be peed on, getting a lady's pee all over you, some golden showers, some water sports. That's the vibe of that one. Also 12-inch, also 45 RPM, standard black vinyl. Really happy to have these tracks because, frankly, I do love those boys. And, love the weird, nasty, almost like Mad Magazine style, gross, odd illustrations and cover art that typically comes with the band's work. All right, continuing on, shout out to my friend Annie, who recently sold me some records. They were parting with some, and there were a few pickups in there that I couldn't say no to, especially since they are classics that are near and dear to my heart. The first of which, Power Corruption, Lies, New Order. I mean, I already have this on CD. I have the expanded deluxe edition of this, but I don't have it on vinyl. I wanted to, and it's in great condition. Nothing, super profound to, say about this other than that, it's the Rough Trade Records pressing. So, not like an OG version or anything like that, but, it's still in fantastic condition. Record still sounds great. And how could I pass up the opportunity to also own a copy of Blue Monday on vinyl with the, nice little floppy disk, classic floppy disk sleeve that the 12-inch is known for, is quite legendary for. One of the most legendary and best-selling vinyl singles of all time. But yeah, really cool shit. Really cool shit. Standard black pressing, all that. Nothing too crazy. But yes, Blue Monday, one of the best new wave singles and songs of all time. New Order, one of the best new wave and synth pop bands of all time. One of my favorite bands of all time, point blank period. And of course, had to have it. Yeah. And shout out one more time to Annie for coming through and thinking of me when it came to making sure these records went to a good home. All right. Moving on from there, I have to give a shout out to the Jazz Dispensary, who we have talked about records from before on this page. This next one is one of their more recent releases. If you're unfamiliar with the Jazz Dispensary, they do a lot of reissue work of records that deserve a second shot, a second chance, another glance. This one is from Patrice Rushen. Prelusion is the title of it. It's a bit of jazz fusion on here. I mean, some great jams, great chemistry between Patrice and the band, and I would say there's some tracks that go in more of, melodically speaking and instrumentally speaking, more of a funk direction, more of a soul direction, but it's still based around instrumental jams and improv and so on and so forth. Wouldn't say it's anything like revolutionary for these styles or anything like that, but the performances are really good. And if you happen to stumble across a copy of this at your local record store, or if you're looking to expand that wing of your jazz catalog in your collection, this would certainly make a nice addition. It's a great recording. Again, great solid performances. It's not reinventing the wheel or anything like that, but it's some nice, very tasteful fusion with some very good playing. Again, Patrice Rushen, Prelusions. It's just got 5 tracks, but again, these are expansive cuts that go up to 10-12 minutes. So you're really going to some interesting fusion odysseys here. But yeah, there you go. Shout out again to the Jazz Dispensary. We also have another interesting jazz edition here. I'm not even sure if this is something that that's even still available at the moment. I mean, completists may jump on this the moment they see this video, but here's an interesting Sunraw record that was passed to me. Shout out to Dead Currencies, deadcurrencies.com. info@deadcurrencies.com. The email is spelled wrong on the sleeve over here, but deadcurrencies.com. Let me tell you this, what the little sleeve over here, the side sleeve tells me is that this is obviously a promo copy, but there are 75 copies of this record about, and it's a Sunraw and his Arkestra album. And this is essentially an attempt at doing a repressing or a recreation of an early Sunraw release, which would be very short run. And the tracks that this project contains are not nearly as well recorded or as formal band-wise as some of the more classic later era material. What you're hearing here on this project is really there are a couple of decent jams and performances on this project for sure, but it's a handful of tracks, 7, and it's some very rudimentary stuff. I wouldn't say demo level, but definitely if you're looking to get a project in your collection, and again, you're a Sunraw completist, and you're looking to get something that is kind of like an early stages release, or sees things in almost like a primordial stage, you're going to want to get a hold of this. And it is a very well put together, project. Again, you have this inner sleeve over here. The front cover comes off. It's just its own printed thing on cardboard, on that card paper. You have the inner sleeve over here, which again, this sort of comes off. You have the back, the television, the hands. This you have all the liner notes of here in terms of who's playing on what, and the vinyl itself, I believe, is just okay. Actually, I forgot. It's a white. It's almost like a milky. I don't know if you could fully see it on the camera, but it's kind of a milky white. It's like an off-white with some kind of brown beige touches in there. And then in addition to that, there's this extra little sleeve of poetry from Sunraw that was kind of like printed and thrown into here as like an insert, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it or anything. I mean, if you want to spring for it, go ahead and get it. But it's a cool little insert book. Again, it does seem like a lot of focus and care was put into the idea of making this record feel like, oh, I'm getting a super rare, one-of-a-kind, handmade by the artist sort of thing, which is really cool. Even if this is like a reprint, it's really cool to sort of like see a package that is that like well put together and, sort of like adds to the experience. It kind of feels like, again, the project, the material that's on it is almost sketchbook-like. And I feel like something of this nature, packaging-wise, like really kind of adds to that vibe. And again, I haven't checked myself. I don't know how many copies of this are still in circulation. And there may be many, there may be just a few. But again, according to this sleeve over here, there's not many more than 75 of these in existence. So if this is exciting to you, you probably want to jump on it sooner rather than later. All right. That is that. And last one, as promised over here, we have the 20th anniversary edition of MF Doom's Food. Now, I've been spinning this. This project, this packaging, this setup is sick as fucking hell. Look, if you love this album and you're yet to grab a copy of it, you're yet to own it, this is a great opportunity, a great way to do so. Not only because, like, the records sound great, but goddamn, this is cool-ass art. This is cool-ass art. On the front and the back, you have the different sort of, like, people wearing the Doom mask, and you have, like an early, like, Zev over here, which is pretty cool. You have like these different sort of iterations of Doom and Doom mask people, these triple-headed dragon, obviously another reference to MF Doom's work over here, the King Ghidra, whatever. I never sort of figured out how to pronounce that. I apologize. But let's actually get into the inside of this thing. What? That's sick. But we're not done. We're not done. Hold on here. There's more. The records themselves are the sick ass fucking picture discs, which again, they sound great. The cartoon battle on the other side of the record, insane. The track listing is actually on the record itself, the side A and side B. And they're thick as hell. These are thick ass pressings. They did not skimp at all on the quality of the pressing on this thing. We have side C, side D. And then finally, in addition to this, and this is kind of like the funniest and most interesting bit of the package, and I believe there's like some extra stuff too that you get with the download. Foil stamp numbered, complete track. Okay, maybe I was hungry for more. Yeah, there's like a QR code here that you can check out for some extra stuff. But in addition to that, we have this. This is a single for the song Cookies. And it's on a cookie picture disc that looks like a goddamn cookie. You got to be kidding me. That's insane. That's some real effort and thought going into the MF Doom package over here. Again, it's and there's a label on it. And it's in this little package like you've bought a cookie from like a deli or something like that, or some kind of bakery. Ingredient side A, Rhymes by Doom, the original recipe cookies, and then we have the Just Blaze recipe of cookies. So like I imagine like a Just Blaze remix. I actually haven't spun this yet. I've spun the record, but I actually have not spun the cookie yet. I've been afraid to play the cookie, though I probably should. Yeah, so we have a Just Blaze sort of version of the track, which again is cool. This is fucking incredible. Holy shit. But yeah, there you go. MF Doom Food 20th Anniversary Edition. Sick ass package. Holy shit. Holy shit. And that is going to do it for this vinyl update edition, our first vinyl update of 2025. Thank you very much for being here. All the records and everything that I talked about are going to be linked down below, so you can check either them out or the labels they are on for yourselves. And yes, I appreciate you guys coming through. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was... Some people in the comments are definitely like going to be fucking tearing me apart right now. I can hear the typing now. Anthony Fantano almost fucked up the MF Doom 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm going to kill that fucker. Anthony, how dare you disrespect the MF Doom 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm sorry, okay? I apologize, okay? Just make sure you're doing a better job with your copy than I am. All right, again, you guys are the best. Love you 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. I will see you in the next one, and regular reviews will be starting up again very soon. Okay? All right. Transition. Have you given any of these records a listen? If you have, good. That's the point of this segment. All right. Over here next to my head is another video you guys could check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. Vinyl update forever.